Okay, so we're going to continue the basics of the rubber guard series here. Last time we just talked about proper flexibility and what your body is even meant to be able to do from these positions. I'm really tired right now. I'm sorry. I got the sweat on me. And we're going to continue some of that today, and we're just going to talk about kind of what to do from mission control when you get stuck, and when's the right time to let go of mission control, when's the right time to move on, try some other things, okay? Before we get into that, we're going to talk about, again, continuing with our idea of body mechanics. So we're just going to talk about breaking his posture a little bit. Obviously, for his posture to be as strong as possible, we talked about this on a previous video unrelated to the rubber guard stuff. For his posture to be as strong as possible, he wants to have his hips engaged. So he's going to clench his butt cheeks up, use his marriage muscles to kind of ride forward. It engages his entire spine. He's going to have a nice strong chin, and he's going to have his head straight. Now, if we're in the closed guard, and you'll see Eddie starts here a lot, and it used to be the case that you'd see this drill a lot with intent point. I think it's kind of, I don't know if it's out of fashion to do this drill now, or if it's just we've done it so much that nobody really talks about it anymore. But the guy's trying to keep posture, and we sit up and take his posture away, right? What most people do in the beginning, and even good people sometimes you'll see, they try to sit through this frame here. But that's going to be nearly impossible if his posture is strong, especially his hips. That's the main thing. If his hips are strong, even if his hands like out in the air, keep your hips strong, I cannot pull him forward. It's impossible. And he's not leaning backwards, you'll notice. He's just existing with strong posture. It's very good posture. If he puts this frame in place also, it's going to be impossible for me to pull him forward. So what I need to do is circumvent this and go around the angle, right? So if I try to sit straight up, I run right into that frame, so be strong. I run right into that frame, and maybe I get in behind his elbows. And that's a good idea too, because now maybe I can circle his elbows out. But if his posture at the hips and neck stays strong, even if I get his hands away, we just saw that could be a problem, right? So that's a lot of work. So what I want to do instead is I want to change the angle with my hips and my torso. So I'm going to turn, instead of trying to drive straight against the frame, I'm going to turn to this angle, and I'm going to sit up. Like I'm, sort of like I'm attacking a hip bump sweep against his tricep on the far side, like that, right? And no matter how powerful and structurally strong this frame is coming straight on, if I can change the angle, then it's going to be really, really easy for me to sit through the frame. Okay, so not here. Yeah, be strong, be really strong with your posture, your hips especially. Yeah. Not here, but here to the side. And I can reach up and grab around his tricep and start affecting a hip bump this direction, or I can get around his head, which is what I prefer to do usually if I don't feel him leaning backwards, right? If I feel him leaning backwards, that's my chance to open up and try to drive him over for a sweep. Most guys are not going to fall for that. If they're any good, they're going to put their hand on the mat instead. As you're leaning back, you put your hand on the mat, and that's going to offer me an opportunity for A, this hip bump triangle Ryan Hall style, or B, could be around for this Kimura and guillotine series, or obviously the better the guy, the smaller the window he's going to offer. So he may just put his hand down, bang, and then come back. Look what I got on the other side. A nice free New York, and the posture broken. So right away, in this case, I'm going to try to get to this temporary mission control position. Eddie plays it temporary here. I tend to do this. Either way, I think is okay. I like this the best because it's encouraging the strong angle on my part. So let's look at that again. Can't sit straight through. I'm going to change the angle with my guard still closed. If I open my guard and change the angle, a guy like Scaff or me or Sam who's running the camera, for sure we're going to stand up as soon as the guard opens, and then we've lost the opportunity to play closed guard. It doesn't mean we've lost the opportunity to play guard, but we've got to move on to a new idea. Maybe that's what we wanted in the first place. That's okay too. But if we're thinking about MMA, I cannot afford to let this guy sit here with posture or to stand up if he's a better striker than me. I can't. It's not an option. So I have to get good at moving my hips and my torso with my ankles still crossed in the back, nice and strong. So pinch and I pull with my heels as I sit up here. And now I can sit to here. More than likely, he's going to try to block that off. And so I end up coming up like this. And look what I've given myself free on the back doors at New York, right? So be strong. You're not even going to let me do all that this time. I'm just going to try to hit them. Now I've got a free New York, and you see I cut the angle right away. Free New York on this side. Posture under control, either with my hands, or I start to bring my rubber guard into play here. So fundamentally, the most important thing that I can do is create angle and trap this hand to the mat when I break his posture. What I don't want to see is, even if his posture sucks and I pull him and break his posture, I don't want to start here. Even if keep your hands off the mat, or even free. Yeah, even free. I don't want to start here. This is, I mean, it's not bad. It's better than where I was, but I've missed a lot of really good opportunities to create angle. And angle is offense. So stand. This is an illustration I use, especially with my fighters and guys who are familiar with striking. If me and Scaff are going to square off here, who's going to win this exchange? Well, probably Scaff. He's a better boxer than me. You know, he's a nice, strong guy looking. He works in the gymnasium, helping people with their muscles. He's probably going to knock me out here, right? Because it's just a slugger's game right here. But if I can step off, come around here to this angle here, so stay where you're at. If I can step off to this angle, pop, 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 or shoot, I've created offense here. Now the problem with the feet is that maybe I get out to this angle for a second and I pop him, but he has the opportunity to square up and change the angle again anytime that he, well, yeah, anytime that he wants. Technically speaking, anytime that he wants, right? If he's a technical guy and has strong footwork and experience, he can change the angle whenever he wants. The nice thing about the ground is that if I do my job properly, when I create the angle, I have the opportunity to keep the angle indefinitely. And that's why I think jiu-jitsu is the superior way to fight, like philosophically. It's an opportunity to attack an angle and keep the angle indefinitely with frames and hip positioning, whereas the feet offers me windows of angle, depending on my level, I guess, of the striker, which in my case is pretty low. All right, so I'm gonna come up, break his posture. I'm gonna leave my ankles closed when I do that. I'm gonna come up, break his posture. He's gonna be strong. He's not gonna just give away his posture, right? If we get to this position and I can't pull him down, I'm gonna get my hips off the ground. I'm gonna hang on you, so this right. All right. Get my hips off the ground and hang on. I'm gonna stay up. Yeah, I got you. All right. Yes, there we go. And look, he's like a 200-pound giant man. I can't just pull him straight back, right? So engage my hips, and now I want to turn his head to the side so that I break that kinetic chain here. And now look how easily he comes down. And again, if I pull him down straight on top of me, that's no good. So once I feel him hit the point where he is no longer posturing, but he is falling instead, if he's falling, he's not defending. If he's past that breaking point, that's my opportunity to create the angle, right? And I'm gonna try to jump as deep down the rubber guard path as I can as he's falling. So strong posture again. Sit up, engage my hip, turn him, and now watch. As he falls, then I hip away. And now I've got a free New York. Even if he tried to keep his hands on my, come around, Sam, to this side. Even if he tried to keep his hands on my chest as we fell, watch. My hip moves his elbow to the outside. His hand is still on that inside tie, but watch now as my knee comes forward. It shuts his hand right off. And that's how I create that free New York against a guy who knows not to give it away. I create an angle and a place where he cannot structurally resist me easily anymore. If we're in the same weight class, I'm likely going to get that. Right? And not always, but he's falling. He's not thinking about his hands anymore. It's an easy opportunity to take it away from him. Now I can go temporary mission control, like Eddie does. I can go kind of in that half mission control here. I guess this is New York actually. Here, or I can get all the way to New York here. Depending on your preference really. Some guys don't like this. I mean, for MMA and total posture control, I think this is the most important and efficient way. But that doesn't mean it's the only way. One of our purple belts, the guy running the camera, Sam, he really likes this stuff. It makes him more mobile at his hips, he feels. And he's good enough that he can make those kind of decisions. Maybe it's a function of reps and brainwashing, but I feel that this is the strongest, right? Either way, I want to make sure that I'm, again, like we talked about in the last video, I'm not pulling here. This is not the important part. This is the important part here. And if as we fall, I can steal a free like chill dog, like a flying kung fu move or chill dog, then I'm going to steal as much as I can down the path, right? So it can be here, it can be here, we can fall straight to here, right? But again, look, not this, but this with my body. So it's not really that much of a flexibility mechanic. And the more I drive this, the tighter it becomes on his shoulder. I'm not going to shoulder lock Scaff today because that's not nice. He doesn't like that. All right. So let's talk about this backside leg during our basic rubber guard stuff. Right? There's a variety of places that this can be as you get deeper into your rubber guard, particularly like your meat hook series, or once you get over to the head being cleared like in Chill Dog. You can do a lot of things with this foot. But while you're in these basic closed guard positions, we'll just stay mission control for the time being, right? I want to either have my, oh, check out that hair. Can you zoom in on that hair, Sam? Oh my gosh, it didn't come off. It's like, oh my gosh, it never ends. You ever see that movie, The Never Ending Story? It has that worm, like furry worm thing that the guy rides. All right, so is there another one? Look at that. What's happening?
Oh my.
You ever read that book, Where the Wild Things Are?
Yep.
Okay, it doesn't have anything to do with this. All right, so here, mission control, foot either clamped down on the back. The function of that will be when he's trying to leave, like he wants to run away, I gotta hold on to him, right? Again, here, this is the idea. Or foot into the hip. Now, here's where people run into problems. I can't get my foot in his hip. He's too good, bro. All right, well, Scaff is a very good jiu-jitsu player, but he ain't too good to get my foot in his hip, all right? So what people try to do, this is what I see, I want my foot in the hip and I can't get it because he's tight, and so I open my knee and try to fit it in there. This is where they get their guard passed, right? Yeah, that can happen. They can pop that his left knee through the hole there and pin my leg. That's bad, but the worst is when he pops his back knee through and pins my leg, because now he's going to explode through my guard. And if I try to hold on to that, I'm going to injure myself. Well, I'm going to injure myself. There's another hair. Good Lord. I don't even want to talk about this. Okay, so I do not want you to be hanging on to him and then open your knee to fit your foot in the hip. What's going to happen, you're not going to be able to stay at this angle from mission control. He's going to square up. And as he squares up, he opens that space for me to put my foot in. Does everybody see that? So again, I created a good angle. I wasn't even able to get his hand to the mat. Like, this is terrible, right? This is temporary mission control or crappy mission control or whatever word you want to use for it there. And I'm hanging on to him. I don't want him to pass. My knee is tight. Not squeezing him to death, but I don't want like lazy leg here. I want some active tension. Now when he goes to square up, which he will inevitably do, watch, the foot just slips right to his hip. And now I can play my game. And I've already secured this, so I don't have to worry about yanking my foot up into place. I've already got my hip in place on the other side. Now when he goes to stack, I can keep creating good angles here with him. All right, so this time as I break his posture, I'm gonna take that free New York on this other side. I'm gonna steal that free New York from him. As that happens, we're gonna go slow, and you're gonna see that I come all the way, Sam's gonna walk all the way around. So he'll start like right here, and he'll walk around, and you'll see that I'm able to steal this position with the foot on the hip. Okay, so up, so start right down here. Nice strong posture, the whole series. Up, boom, boom. Up. Don't give it to me free. Maybe
gotcha.
Right. I'm gonna do it slowly, but I want you to actually actively resist. Okay. Now, as he squares up, foot goes right into the hip. Does that make sense? All right, I didn't get the free New York over there, so I was going to have to play a zombie. I wanted to do a zombie, but I was like, well, we hadn't talked about that yet. So we'll talk about that on a different day. One more time. Be really, really strong with your posture, so I have to emphasize the breaking of the old neck. Right. Go. And that's my move. And now I'm right into mission control. And for a fight, I've got my leg in position. I can eat him up. Very overlooked strike in MMA. My favorite strike in fighting. Watch my right foot that's on his hip. I love you, Scaff. I'm sorry about this. Here. Still legal. Can't kick the kidneys anymore, which is the best one. But this one, if they do end up back on the feet and I hit him with about 30 of those, he's not going to want to fight me anymore. It's like driving a nice strong leg kick. All right. Okay, so that's all we got for right now. We'll get back to we'll keep going deeper and deeper into the rubber guard each week.